Hello and welcome, my name is Nils, Cyrils Brettspiele, and today, in a nutshell, Lifted Deluxe. Lifted Deluxe is coming from USAopoly. So, and USAopoly brings out this dexterity nonsense? Did I say nonsense game? Anyway, let's take a look what is in the box. There's a game board, there are some plastic pieces, there are some cards. I show you that in a minute, but that is technically what a team or a player has to work with. These are plastic tiles, so that could be a ball, this could be a tube, or some other tiles. And these black ones, I'm talking about that in a minute. These tokens here, these player tokens, forget that. They are just for marking points, and points are not really important in this game. The important thing comes now into play, and this is a crane. Yeah, it is a crane, and you can see on the crane there is a metal hook. So what you're doing in this game, oh, I forgot to mention there's a timer in the game, but also forget that there's an application on for your smartphone. Use that one. However, let's flip it around to just see. So what you're doing is you are bringing out one of these cards. The cards have some difficulty level, and the difficulty level depends on how long you can play. 40 seconds, then you have 80 seconds and 120. So let's assume this one here. What you have to do is you place your card here somewhere, just for demo purposes. I put it over here, and now in 40 seconds you have to lift these pieces here like this here. Bring it in your lift zone here, and bring the next tile is, even with my left hand, that is an no, not with my left hand. Anyway, yeah, probably I should use my right hand, but with the right hand I have the camera right now, so you can see me, and but it works. So even that right now, I don't know if I really had 40 seconds because I started that while I was still explaining. However, now it's ready. For each single piece that is almost there like this, you get a point. In this case 1 and 2. If you complete that, you get an additional points. To be accurate, 4 additional points. So in this case, I would go up to 6. Maybe you see these barriers here on the board. That means a duel. A duel, simple, means you pick a partner who you wanted to play against with, and then try to figure out who is faster. Lifted, that is really important. If you have this lifted here with this bubble in it, then it's even more harder. Instead of flipping that around, someone gets this card into his hand, don't show it to someone, and explain it. Okay, you think that's easy? Yeah, I hear you. That's not too hard. However, there's the third one, and that means crane on your forehead. Seriously? Yes. Give me a second, a little cut. And this is where these bands come into play. This headbands. And just to show you, can you imagine to build this one here? Okay, you have 120 seconds, but can you even imagine to build that? No worries, you don't have to. You get still 1 point per tile. However, it's really hard to build that. And now let's take a look at me. I don't know if you can see me with this stupid crane on my forehead, but now let's try to build something with it. I will put my camera down here, and now let's try if I can build something with it. As you can see, you approach this one here, obviously there wouldn't be something, and then you build that here in this area. Now you bring the next one, bring it in, and let's try to build the first one, but I'm in the wrong hole here. I should go in this one here. And as you can see, this is how the game works, and with the forehead it's super complicated. Is that really interesting that you really build it like you should be? I don't know, because this is a is it a nonsense game? Oh, hopefully you can see it, I don't know. As you can see, this is obviously a nonsense game. This is a dexterity game. Give me a second. This is a nonsense dexterity game that makes no sense at all, but that is exactly what it should be. A party game, a nonsense dexterity game that you can play with the full family. As always, let's talk a little bit about my personal experiences, and just to be fair up front, I played it a couple of times in every single occasion I have, but I forgot to mention one specific thing right now which spices up this game dramatically. But I will hide that secret for a moment. However, I want to flip back to this one here. The difficult level between red, easy one 40 seconds, green one that is okayish, and insane blue is dramatically. I mean, this is really, really, really hard to build, especially if you have that on your forehead. However, is that really important to win? And again, no. My personal experience is you love so much when you play this game, you have so much fun, you're so much into it, that this one, scoring, is super unimportant. Nobody cares about scoring. Everybody wants to play it, and everybody wants to have the experience. And as I promised you, there's one more thing. On top of all of that, play that as teams. You have two cranes, 1 and 2. You hook that up that you have only one hook, and I can only with one hand, it's really hard. But as you can see, you have two different cranes and they are working like a team. Easy peasy if you have that in one hand, and easy peasy if you have that in two hands. But if you have both of that on your forehead, can you imagine how crazy is that going? Especially if people saying, like in this example, so one is really deep, the other one is high, so then, oh, higher, lower, oh, and it's really heavy to coordinate. Especially if you have it like this, you can almost never get it if you are in the middle of this holes here to get it correctly in. Not with two people on your forehead. Probably like I did right now with one hand. But that's a rare exception that you can do that. The only thing I have to criticize, and that should be noticed by you, this is a version with a sand timer. There's also a version from a different company out on the market, not on the US market, but the European market, with a cool timer. You have a timer, and when it's over, it flips up, it jumps like a frog and turns around. That's even more cooler. But however, you don't really need that in the age of smartphones. Just use your timer on the smartphone. And I can almost guarantee you, if you don't want a high, heavy strategy game, which is Lifted, obviously not, then play Lifted and you will have tons of fun. Enjoy Lifted, USAopoly. I really enjoyed it as a family dexterity game with a little bit of a twist I've never ever seen before. Enjoy it. This was Nils, Cyrils Brettspiele, and in a nutshell edition. See you next time. Bye bye.